Lance Devines. Joining me on the pitch, James Saunders and Colin Murray. Monday, we were in Central and we saw 14 goals as Caripachima East and Chaguanas North both qualified for the Central Zone qualifiers. The focus today on the East as we see 3 Premiership Division teams and 1 team that won their area in terms of the Championship Division. What do we expect today, James?
Well, to see the wise men come from the East. There are 3 of us, so I'm guessing that we are wise as we made a good decision to bring this game to you. St. Augustine Secondary, a team with so much history coming up against Trinity East. Not a big history in terms of football for them, but it's a big occasion, the semi-finals. I'm quite excited.
Colin, what do you have to say?
Yeah, James is right. It's a big game here today for Trinity East, but you know, the form they are showing in the Premier Division, I expect them to pull through. Unfortunately, the Green Machine has been absolutely awful in the league. You know, Intercol is, we always say Intercol is a different game, and they're going to probably try their hardest to lift their standard, fight the game, but somehow I don't see them pulling through.
All right, well, let's see how these teams got here through the quarterfinals. Well, okay, well, so, yeah. All right, well, gentlemen, we see how the teams got here. What can we expect today from Trinity College East?
Well, they're going to play their normal. They're tight at the back. They normally don't give anything away. They play the ball wide, and of course,
Exactly. Coaches.
to the antennas, to the homes. We bring you action from the east here at the Larry Gomes Stadium. It is the COCA-COLA INTERCOL East Zone semi-finals. We have a doubleheader for you today, and it starts off with Trinity College East versus St. Augustine Secondary School here at the Larry Gomes Stadium. The weather conditions that these young men will play under: 29 degrees Celsius is the temperature, humidity index at 78%, so it does feel quite warm, and wind speeds at 15 kilometers per hour. My name is Hans Devines. Joining me on the pitch, James Saunders and Colin Murray. Yesterday, we were in the Central Zone. Carripachaima East and Chaguanas North both qualifying. We saw a total of 14 goals in Central. Today in the East, our focus is on 3 Premiership Division teams and 1 team that won their zone in the Championship Division. What are we in for today, James?
Well, sadly, I don't think we're going to see as many goals as we saw yesterday.
Well, we apologize for that outage in terms of our satellite transmission, but the issue is resolved and we're going to bring you all the action live from right here at the Larry Gomes Stadium. It's the COCA-COLA INTERCOL East Zone semi-finals. The first matchup, Trinity College East going up against the Green Machine, St. Augustine Secondary School. You can actually see the team and the officials behind me. What a matchup it is going to be as both teams, Trinity College East and St. Augustine Secondary, look to secure their spot in the East Zone Finals. When we look at the weather today, it's 29 degrees Celsius, humidity index at 78%, and wind speeds at 15 kilometers per hour. We take it over to Colin Murray and James Saunders to give us the action.
Well, thank you so much, Hansi Veens. Welcome to the Larry Gomes Stadium. It is COCA-COLA INTERCOL action. Trinity East coming up against St. Augustine Secondary. Pleasantries being observed as the match officials meet with the captains of both teams. Both wearing the number 6, Angie Providence for Trinity East and for St. Augustine Secondary.
Teresa Andrews.
Teresa Andrews. Colin Murray is with me. Keelan Barkas will be in charge of this one. Of course, there was a meeting with the officials just ahead of kickoff. Mariri Gonzalez, the president of the secondary schools football, Mr. Ainsley Cato and Nakia Harewood, is who you would have seen earlier. The boys from Trinity, faith-based school, located just in the Twin City area of Trinidad and Tobago, offering words of prayer and perhaps looking for inspiration. And St. Augustine Secondary, they wear their customary green, known popularly as the Green Machine. Not the best of seasons this time around for St. Augustine, but they will be hoping to salvage that in the COCA-COLA INTERCOL. Well, just a reminder of viewers of the team selections. Tyrese Andrews will be assisting in defense together with Andrew DeLeese, who is the goalkeeper. Jordan Ferdinand is in the starting lineup together with Giovanni Hospitalis, Elijah Gravande, Shaquille Brito, Alex Piper, Jamel Cooper, Jalen Asalam, Teron O'Brien, and Shamaki Wills. For Trinity, Brandon Dariample, Josiah Daniel, Anderson Barnwell, Nicholas Whiteman, Dexter Kroll, Angie Providence is the captain, Kaleem Prince, Jonathan Emmerich, Jeremiah Frank Williams, Jaheim Fostin, the national youth player, Joshua Figaro, and Riley Hill. So it's time for kickoff here at the Larry Gomes Stadium, COCA-COLA INTERCOL East Zone semi-final, and well, we're on the way. Colin Murray, your thoughts on the early going-ons in this match, and what do you see or make of this contest?
Well, I think it's going to be a tough afternoon for St. Augustine. Yes, they've been in the Premiership, but don't forget they are demoted. They're going to be playing in the Championship next year. So I don't expect Trinity to really be that much extended. But having said that, James, this is INTERCOL football, and we all know you lose, you go home. And it's the last chance really for St. Augustine to show themselves for the season in terms of doing well. So I expect them to put up a fight here. Because don't forget, St. Augustine, they've got a good tradition. They've got a real good legacy, and they've produced some really good footballers over the years. So I don't expect them just to lay down here and play dead. I think they're going to give it a good go.
The Green Machine finished at the bottom of the secondary schools championship group. Trinity East did finish in 3rd place in their group. Well, they tried to mount the first attack and can't get it past the last line of defense for St. Augustine Secondary. You mentioned St. Augustine Secondary having a very well-rounded tradition of producing players at the national level. Trinity East with better of the possession, but they've given that away just as I said that, and that one pinged into the legs, but the iron touch takes it away. Nice build-up out of the back for Trinity East. They of course are led by Jaheim Fostin. If the surname rings a bell, well, your guess might be very well. It's the younger son of Marvin Fostin, the former Trinidad and Tobago international, continuing the rich Fostin legacy. Well, They've lost it in a bad area. And well, could they recover from this as St. Augustine pile forward the first shot, and well, the goalkeeper had to gather it on the second attempt. But they're wasting no time, St. Augustine secondary, in getting shots away, and that wasn't bad from Hospitalis.
No, that's good. And you know, I like the start. They've started very positive. I remember the coach saying they're going to be tight in defense, and they've got to be tight in defense. But when they can come forward and create problems for Trinity East defense, then great. And I thought that was a good start and a good shot.
It's won well by Figaro. Here's Kroll. Barnwell gets involved. Boy, he pierced that to the middle, didn't he? Frank Williams now. And that's too long for the intended run of Prince, who was surging down that left-hand side. Brito.
Nice conditions here at the moment, James. It's a little bit sunny, but pretty overcast, and I would think the field, it's just got that nice little slick. So when the ball is played, it's going to run on nicely, and this should make for good football.
I was going to say brilliant conditions. Yeah, it's sunny, but it's cool enough to play.
That's right, that's right. There was a little drizzle just before the kickoff, and that subsided, and when you look across to the east, it's all nice blue skies and that sort of thing. So we should expect a good afternoon, and the conditions, the field looks in good condition.
Larry Goins Stadium, of course, one of the 5 stadiums rather, built around the country for the Under-17 World Cup that was hosted here back in 2002, was it?
2001.
2001.
And the nice thing about it, all the stadia, they were named after iconic sports, and not only just cricket, because this is the Larry Goins for cricket. You have Atto Bolden for athletics, Dwight York for football, Manny Ramjohn again for athletics, and then of course the Hazley Crawford Stadium. You know, but it's it's nice to spread it around. And Larry Goins, of course, the man born in Arima, bred in Arima, played for the East, then went on obviously to have a distinguished career playing for the West Indies. How they would love to do with a Larry Goins now.
Oh, certainly. Did see him a couple of years ago. He is currently resides in Canada. Did take a trip with Larry Goins at one time to the Cricket Champions League, and I tell you what, he's a big celebrity in those parts.
Oh yeah, he is. And very quiet, very mild-mannered. You know, when Larry talks, you got to sit up and listen, because he's very much an introvert. He's very much to himself, but loves a good little old talk. Loves the horses. You know, again, coming from Arima, Santa Rosa Park was very close to home, and you know, he would head there and take his little flutter, I suppose, on the horses. I don't know if he was successful, but to me, if you keep going back all the time, you must have some sort of success, because you work hard for your money to keep giving it away.
Arima is the easternmost borough in Trinidad and Tobago, and well, it boasts a wide array of sporting personalities that would have come out of this area. You think of the likes of Kevin Molino, who started at the Arima Boys Government. Sunil Narayan is from Arima as well.
You know, just going back to Larry, going back to Larry, the famous Gomes brothers. There was Larry, there was Sheldon. Sheldon was a tremendous footballer as well as a good cricketer, played for QRC. And then there was Lester, you know, Gregory. They were really Randy, who actually played youth cricket with me. A fine all-rounder, went to St. Mary's. So you know, Arima has produced so many great sports personalities over the years.
Well, still goalless. We've played 6.5 minutes so far here at the Larry Goins Stadium between Trinity East and St. Augustine Second. Oh, this is a good run here. And he could get a shot away, just couldn't get the coordinates right. Jaheim Fostin did everything right besides the finish.
Yeah, which is surprising for him, because he's normally on target, and he made the run. Now he's a danger man. Let's face facts. St. Augustine, they've got to pay close attention to Fostin. They got away there with one. You know, he's not gonna. They're not. Look at the angle was too bad. You know, it's impossible for him to score from that angle unless it went straight through the keeper. But they got away with that one. He should have squared it back. I tell you, if they continue to give Fostin that kind of room, they're going to pay.
Chaim Fostim does play for the Trinidad and Tobago youth national team on the 17 level. On the 20 as well. Such a talented player. Well, haven't had much more goal attempt than the one we saw from Fostin and the one earlier from St. Augustine. Apart from that, just been knocking it around in the middle. St. Augustine no can have an opportunity here from a free kick to do more. And well, for a second, Assalam looked like O'Brien was looking like he was going to line this one up. Since left that duty for Brito.
It's been a good start from St. Augustine, just that one chance that Fostin really had. But I think they're certainly looking to go forward all the time.
Well, the breeze is carrying this one, and it's carried it long way over the bar in the end. He had a good idea, but he didn't execute it quite well.
Yeah, not meant to be. I think he was more looking to get it onto the far post for somebody to run onto it. But you're right, the breeze just took it somewhere up to the main road. It was really not really intended. But I like how St. Augustine have started. They just got to be a little tight and careful in defense.
Oh, the rain started to pour. It's bright sunshine though, despite the rain.
I think it's just a cloud hanging over the Larry Gomes Stadium, because when you look around, James, it's really nice weather all around. But here
well, Fostin could be in. He's all alone, Fostin, and a challenge from behind. What a save that is. And well, you've got to give credit to that challenge as well, because it's illegal according to the referee. But the goalkeeper, he kept his eyes on it all the way. It seemed to be going into the back of the net.
It looked to be that ball came off Brito, the St. Augustine defender. And give him credit, because Fostin was just about ready to unleash. Now, did he get some contact with Fostin? But you see again, they've got to pay. You can't allow Fostin on a one-on-one situation like that.
This is floated over, looking for a yellow jersey to smack it. Point back into the area. Should get to Fostin, who remains on side, and he's done well to beat his man. There's space and time to pick out a pass here, Fostin, and well, he sent that into orbit when all he had to do was knock it into the back of the net.
Barnwell is a left back, James. He never got over the ball. Really and truly, Fostin created that. Fostin said to Barnwell, here, take it. Let's look at it. Brilliant take from him. He took it and went in one movement, blew by the defender, and then he looks up and he saw the best man to pick out there was Barnwell, and all Barnwell had to do was really side-footed into the net, and he just was leaning back. I think he went for a little bit of power and he didn't need to, but again, the danger of Fostin.
Well, I guess the old adage about can't hit a barn door comes to life for Barnwell. Here's Fostin. He's involved in everything good for this team, and he's sent his man forward, and heavy challenge. And well, play is allowed to continue. But again, Fostin is really at the handle of the controls at the moment. Well, here is the green machine. And well, just couldn't get enough purchase on that to find a teammate, and Trinity East would come away with it. They have looked the lively of the team so far. Well, that should be too heavy. Thought he saw the run there of Daniel. Daniel not on the same page as Prince, and goes for a throw. So it's still goalless between St. Augustine and Trinity East as the rain pours. There's an old saying in Trinidad and Tobago, I know you're familiar with those. Rain falling, sun shining.
Well, no, but it's really, this one is strange, because you look all around to the right in particular, it's all blue sky. I mean, it's incredible. And it's just over the stadium. There's this heavy cloud, and it's bringing the rain.
Well, thought you were going to say something about a monkey being married. If you're from Trinidad and Tobago, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're a certain age, at least. That's a foul. Well, St. Augustine will have a free kick attempt to try and make an entrance into the Trinity East area. They haven't done so. The only shot of the match came from outside the area, and well, they're not going to get the lock this time. Well, he just bullied his way to take that away from him, Barnwell. Well, it's a heavy touch there from Providence and almost gave away a corner. He does in fact give away a throw now.
Careless on the part of Providence, actually, the skipper. The ball was played back to him. He took his eye off the ball, I believe, to just see where his left back was. And in so doing, it went under his boot. And he was lucky to survive in terms of not giving away a corner. But in the meantime, it seems to be a man down in the middle. It could very well be Wills. Shamaki Wills is the man down. Not sure what happened with him. It's getting the little bit of water and maybe the magic spray. And once that happens, it's going to be all right. Seems to be a knee problem, James, with him.
But I thought you were going to say the water is the magic.
Water. Now, actually, it's not Wills. It seems to be, let's see, the man there. It looks like Piper, the man, because he's making his way off at the moment, because he's got to go off before he can come back on. So it is Piper, the man off.
Well, play will be allowed to continue. St. Augustine throw, just not connecting with a green shirt.
So all the green shirts were having water at the moment. Strange.
Or maybe here they can get something. It's well won back by Trinity East to look to attack to Fosting, and this is a foot race that he could win here. Fosting gets there first and couldn't get it around the goalkeeper this time. And he might have won a corner. He has won a corner.
Where was the keeper going, James? Come on, you're a goalkeeper. I mean, a defender was on top of him. There was no need for him to run. Look at this. Where is he going? He has no chance to get the ball. So he just stands there, really and truly. And luckily for him, it was played out for a corner. And that's the thing. We've seen so many times, James, not only in secondary schools league, in football in general.
Oh, this looks good. Oh, the scorpion kick. Looks fancy. Not effective though, but it did look aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, we've seen so many times in football in general. Let's just have a look at is it the scorpion kick? Not too sure whether it's the scorpion or rabbit or whatever. But anyway, at the end of the day, James, you know, I have seen defenders on top of forwards running with the ball or going to goal, and the defender is shackling him, and all of a sudden the goalkeeper comes out for no reason, as if he feels, well, 2-on-1 is better. But he ends up 9 out of 10 times in no man's land.
To his credit though, he did cut the angle significantly.
Okay, we'll give him credit then.
Just Prince.
Because you're the goalkeeper. If you say cut the angle, I'll agree with you.
All's well that ends well, Colin Murray. If you read Shakespeare, all that's just well cut off. People, I can't quite remember what happens after that title. Hospitalis runs into some trouble. Well intercepted by Frank Williams. Figaro. Daniel. Prince looking for Fostin, and
trouble again.
Again, he's cut through the green defense like knife through butter. This time, Fostin can't get around the goalkeeper yet again. He's had a good game so far, the goalkeeper for St. Augustine, Tyrese Andrew Lease.
So he's another corner, but again, you're leaving for now. Brito, it appears to me, Brito is the man who's got to be shackling Fostin. But you can't leave Brito on a one-on-one. Fostin is going to outrun him all the time. Either Fostin gives himself a couple of yards. Look at that. You know, from the time Brito stops, Fostin goes again. And you know, it's either they decide to let the last man come back a little, withdraw slightly, so that Fostin is not going to find himself one-on-one.
Well, this one is into the goalkeeper, and ball flashed across the face of goal, and somehow nobody was there. Well, they're lucky, St. Augustine, they're living dangerously.
Yeah, no one attacked that, and you would have thought somebody would have been attacking that ball just in around the 6-yard box. Let's have a look at the corner. It bounced before the man he missed the header, and then nobody was coming in at the far post. Strange.
He almost scored a direct corner there, Barnwell.
Yeah.
He missed an open shot, but he almost scored a corner. Well, can St. Augustine break free here? Decide to go back. A wall of yellow shirts ahead of St. Augustine. Well, they're patient. Wills. Grab Sandy. And, he was looking to pick out the run of Ferdinand, who steaming down that right-hand side. Just too straight. Who's going to win this one? Hill gets his big body in the way. And turns like a top.
Riley Hill tends to play wide for Trinity. He's had a double a brace in the last game. Tends to be very wide. He is the one who gives Trinity East the width, James, on the right-hand side. And then you've got Prince giving them the width on that left-hand side. And they're pretty effective. And then Faustin, of course, going straight through the middle as they playing the strike-up.
Certainly a well-coached Trinity East. Dwayne Davis, the head coach. They've got the experience of Trevor Nottingham, who is the goalkeeper coach, and Hayden Martin, who's a technical advisor. Hayden Martin, of course, is a coach's instructor here in Trinidad and Tobago, well known.
Yeah, he was at St. Mary's many years ago. Actually, when he was coaching St. Mary's, I was coaching Fatima. And
was that the time you lost?
No. We lots of stories on that, James, and I wouldn't go into it here. But we actually went to school together, Hayden Martin and myself. He is an old Fatima boy, and then he went across to coach St. Mary's, and I used to tease him all the time that he's gone to the enemy. But he had a very successful stint with St. Mary's, and then he went on to be a technical advisor to quite a few secondary schools.
Yes, right.
Well, they've dominated the possession for much of this match, Trinity East.
Nice completed passes, James.
64 completed passes.
I'm a little surprised at that, because I thought Trinity had more of the ball and would have completed more passes. Yeah, so St. Mary's so Trinity East has more completed passes. Yeah.
Trinity East, of course,
which is expected.
They're more direct, so you can expect that pass completion may not be very high all the times because they're taking more risk. St. Augustine, though, only 50% pass completion, only half of their passes, 1 and 2 passes.
And you could see that once they get the ball, Trinity is putting them under some pressure. So they're quickly trying to hustle their passes, and once you start hustling your passes and you know you're not getting time on the ball, you're going to make mistakes.
Well, St. Augustine might look to change that statistic. Stay barge forward here. Will this be a completed pass? It is a completed pass. Would have wanted to complete the finish as well. Just couldn't bend it enough to sink into that far post.
Yeah, Jamil Cooper was the man who should have put it away. He was right, he was in position. Everything was right about that. Let's look at the run. The run was good. The pass back to Cooper was excellent from the byline. He just couldn't keep it down. But here goes Trinity East.
Riley Hill trying to find this man out wide. Not this time. Well, maybe now. Hill. Daniel. Figaro. Prince. Loses possession, but he wins it back. Prince. And, wow. That was very airy-fairy in the end.
Ready?
Didn't quite drive it down at goal. Prince got himself into a wonderful position.
You went well inside. You threw him inside and he's free. Get better.
St. Augustine secondary. Green Machine several times East Zone champions. A long way from that these days, but it's always a cycle in secondary school football. You have teams that had their era, and then another team rises after that.
Yeah, St. Augustine for a long time ruled the East and even went into national finals and did very, very well. And I remember one final, I keep harassing my good friend Tony Gray. You know him well, James. They call him Anthony Hollis Gray.
That's your best friend, isn't he?
Yeah, and he was saving for St. Augustine in a final, a national final, in the Oval, and against Fatima. And of course, Fatima won 1-0, and he dived over the ball. And I've never let him forget it. I said to him, it was better you went to play cricket on the field rather than goalkeep. But that was one of his proud moments, that he kept goal for St. Augustine in an Intercol, national Intercol final, be it not just a zonal final.
Yeah, of course, Anthony Gray went on to be a West Indies player, cricketer, fast bowler. Speaks of the quality of athletes that would have come out of St. Augustine.
Many good athletes, and they've always been a well-coached team. They've had some really good coaches as well over the years. Kenny Thomas and Michael Grayson. They've been really well coached.
Both former coaches of mine, by the way. Yes, Faustin. Yard of space and nobody home as he came calling.
And that's where Prince missed the boat there. He should have been, as Faustin was making the run, he should have been going wide and on the far post, looking to get that cross in. And he just stood up. A lot of them now, they stand up and look at Faustin and said, okay, he's going to do it by himself. But sometimes he needs the support.
Well, this is wayward, but it does find a green shirt and, well, a high boot, and the referee allows it to continue. Still a battle for this one, but the touch is heavy and gives it right back to Trinity East.
Well, we're coming up to 25 minutes in this game, and it's still goalless. So you've got to give a lot of credit so far to St. Augustine, because they've been really very plucky, and they're not being overrode at all by Trinity East.
So roll all the way through to Daniel. Hill. But he's fortunate that he has the support to pick up the wayward pass. But again, they're just poking holes in the Green Machine defense. Hill, he has options. Looking for Prince here. Faustin is backing as well, but Prince makes connection. Not the type of connection he wanted, but it was deflected, and it will be a corner.
Yeah, when you get those kind of crosses coming in, you really want to run onto it and hit it with the lacing. But he was cramped for room because Faustin, I think, was ahead of him, and there was a St. Augustine player as well. So he sort of was angling his body, trying to place it into the bottom corner or into the far corner. And it would have been a very difficult type of skill for him to really get that ball into the far corner of the net. It's the kind of volley you really want, James, that you can run onto and hit it bang with the laces.
Well, it's the kind of volley that will put you in the headlights. Play of the day moment, maybe. Well, tell you what's not a play of the day moment, that corner from Barnwell.
Yeah, that's a poor corner, isn't it? He's a better kicker than that. I've seen Barnwell over a few games. He's got a good left foot, and he tends to go down that left side and get the ball over. So obviously they're using him with that right-sided corner for him to curl that ball going to the far post. But unfortunately, that's his second corner we've seen, and hasn't been really good.
Costin have struggled in their pass completion, and something perhaps that the coaches will have to look at next season. They are quite a young unit. Well, tried a very interesting control there, successful in the end, and he's going long. Oh, look at this! Came up both upright, but it's still alive. But Prince is the Prince of the Larry Gomes Stadium this evening, because he completes the demolition job. One man started, it never brought down the foundation, but Prince had his eyes on the prize all the way into the back of the net, and he puts Trinity East 1-0 ahead in the National Intercol semi-final. Soon.
And you notice the change, James, that Foston went over to the far side. He took up Prince's position. Prince went in the striking role. Let's have a look. And he attacked the wing back and came inside, and then bang, comes off the post, goes and comes right back out. And give Prince credit, following up, put it into the back of the net. That was not an easy volley to put away, but it hit one post, went on to the other one, then came out. And really and truly, there was Prince putting it into the back of the net. But really, that goal totally belonged to Foston, Jaheim Foston.
Well, a goal made by Foston and distributed by Prince. And it puts Trinity East 1-0 ahead. What a goal that is. And it shows good awareness, though, from Prince to follow up after that shot came up both upright. Well, he had to be aware to get in the right position.
Yeah, because everybody was ball watching at the time. They hit one post and they said, well, it started to go in. They said, well, that's going to go in. And they hit the other post. By then, the St. Augustine defenders, they're just about waking up. And Prince was already onto the ball. And but Trinity deserve it. And we've said before the start, we said at the start, we said during the first 15 minutes, Jaheim Foston, they've got to pay close attention to him. If they don't, he's going to make them pay, and he's made them pay.
Certainly has. Well, how will the Green Machine respond to that last assault?
They mustn't drop their heads, though. Because they started well, and they've got to pick it back up and keep running at the Trinity East team. Make their chances. They had a wonderful chance through Cooper, who hit it over the bar. So they have created a couple chances. So they shouldn't just, bow their heads and think, well, they're beaten. It's a long way still to go. We've got, another 61 minutes left in this game. So it's a lot of time for St. Augustine, the Green Machine, to come back into it.
Well, the Green Machine, they certainly dominated the early 2000s. In fact, from 2001 to 2012, they won 6 East Zone titles, including 4 consecutively from 2005 to 2009. So they are a team that have a historical pedigree, but at the moment you're looking at pedigree and you've got to mention Trinity East there, head and shoulders at the moment above St. Augustine. Here they go again, Riley Hill. Well, that's a heavy tackle, a good tackle as well. The coach did say before the match as well, he felt that his young charges have improved, and I don't think many people can disagree that they have improved somewhat St. Augustine.
Yeah, they look a little better here than the last time we've seen them. The thing with them, they've leaked goals at the back, and that has been the problem. I mean, even against Valencia, they were down at one stage. They were down at one stage 3-2. It went to 3-all, and then it suddenly ended up 6-3 in favor of St. Augustine. But when you leak 3 goals in against a championship team, you expect when you come up against a Premier Division team, it's going to be even tougher for you.
Daniel will take the corner. But
What's happened to Barnwell?
It's the third corner ticket that we've had. Barnwell, of course, replaced Foston, who I thought is delivering some excellent corners.
That's right.
Well, this isn't bad from Daniel. And he picks out a yellow shirt, but he just couldn't find the target. He picks out Foston, in fact.
Yeah, but the tall figure of, who is that coming from the back? I think the tall figure of, is it Riley? The tall figure of Riley, he's easily 6 foot plus.
Figaro was in there as well. Well, how will they react to the latest shock, St. Augustine? Defensively, they haven't been too disorganized. Offensively, though, it's a different story. Just one shot on target, a shot from distance. Got to find solutions in that area. Maybe here they can. And, well, that's well defended.
You see, James, when you plan your game against the opposition, you've got to look at the danger men on that opposition team, and you've got to plan for them. In my view, they haven't really planned for Faustin, and he's at the moment he's being allowed to do what he wants, and you can't. He's gone over to that far side, so you've got to also engage a wide midfielder and says, listen, you've got to assist the right back, and both of them have got to look at Faustin, especially. And double team him, double tackle him, because that's the only way you're gonna not get him to make those passes.
O'Brien spreads it out wide, finding a bit more space now as he tries to angle it into the run of Ferdinand.
He does well to keep in.
Dallas, in fact.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, Daniel got in the way, didn't he? Hasn't been a bad player, Daniel, the right back for Trinity East. He's been quite active on both ends of the field, both in defense and attack. That's a short corner, one taken under no real pressure. And Trinity East are allowed to, well, just show a lot of the back with it. And they come forward, they're getting lots of spaces now. Yeah, and he's needed no space as he made his own as he ran past the man. Well, dancing classes now, and a heavy challenge in the end, and it gives away a throw very close to the corner flag.
And that's one of Barneswell's trademark runs. He tends to go down that left side. He's obviously got the permission of the coach to use the width of the field, go down that left side, get the ball over. And we've seen him in a few of the games do that repetitively, going down that left side and getting the ball over. Here, I think he just lost a little bit of control of the ball and it ran away from him.
Out to Augustine, they're finding some space of their own to push forward. Well, he's got numbers ahead of him and he can't get past any of them despite their dancing feet.
He should have done well, because look at Barnwell. Barnwell was the one who was out of position, and that's why they had so much room. And when you get that type of room, you've got to capitalize on it.
Well, that's well won back by Trinity East. Frank Williams. Figaro gets Daniel involved on the heavy guard. Chooses the option of Figaro. He's looking for options. Movement ahead of him is Prince, and he chooses the right one, in fact, as he tried to get it back into Frank Williams, who was well marshaled. How about St. Augustine? Can they get an attack going? But he hasn't had many passing options, and that one just proving it cut out by Riley Hill, who then proceeds to give away possession. So just a bit scrappy the game has gotten in the last few minutes. Both teams giving away easy possession.
Stop and just study how the ball can come your way and then go do that. Keep playing.
Oh, there's a man down.
Yeah, that's Hospitalis, yeah. Wonder what happened. He just went down.
What?
Not sure if he's cramping.
Bubble up.
But there shouldn't be. We're just 35 minutes in the game. I'd be very disappointed if he's cramping up already. It's a hot day, but still.
Just look like he suffered a knock though. The magic spray comes out.
The magic spray comes out, works wonders.
But I don't think the players will mind though, as they make their way across to the various technical areas. I think it's an opportunity to get some hydration. It is quite hot. These matches do start at 1:30 p.m. local time, just after midday.
Yeah, but they've got to be careful because it's not an official water break. The referee can restart the game anytime he wants.
That's a fair point. Well, seems very sporting though, the referee.
Yes, he's gone way down to the goalkeeper. Is it that's what you mean?
Well, play will restart, and Hospitalis is still off the field, but he's back on his feet. Asalam gets Wills involved. Grab a Sandy. Hospitalis, who's back in action, and he proceeds to give away possession just as soon as he came on. Well, they can't open any space here. Frank Williams. Prince is ahead of him. He does find Prince. Gets Riley Hill involved. He has to be quick. Samoa gets past 2, but he doesn't get past the 3rd.
And give St. Augustine credit there, James. There were 6 green shirts starting to pour back. When Prince gave that ball to Hill, there were 6 green shirts. And there really were very few options for Hill.
Have been pretty organized defensively. Just not convinced of the attacking prowess just yet, St. Augustine.
Yeah, at some point in time, they'll have to decide when they've got to throw it. Obviously not now, because the game is still young. But this man, Cooper, he needs some support up front, because at the moment, you only got Cooper there. And we really, from a St. Augustine perspective, they really need to get some more striking power.
Well, it is a foul against the Green Machine. It's taken by Whiteman. Riley Hill, 1v1. This is where he thrives in these types of situations. He's got Daniel overlapping. Gets Figaro involved. Back to Riley Hill. Well, need to move the ball a bit quicker. The instructions from the bench, and the first attempt to do so, they give away possession. Well, they're battling for this one, and the green shirt winning this one. Well, just out muscle, wasn't he? And he's going to be taken to the cleaners here, and they're going to look for a shot. And here's a shot that gets the far corner. The goalkeeper might feel he could have done a bit better, but the shot, you can't fault it for quality, and it's the quality that puts Trinity East 2-0 in front.
Well, let's have a look at this. He goes past the defender, has it on his left foot. The angle is really not good. He went to the left of the keeper, going down into the far corner. But really and truly, you would expect the keeper to do better. He was, to me, he was hugging that first post a little too much, and he gave the angle for Frank Williams to go to his left into the far corner. And I think if he looks back at that, goalkeeper DeLeese, he would be disappointed that he did not save that.
Positionally, just not hitting the mark there, goalkeeper DeLeese. Not taking anything away from the strike, though. It was a very good strike.
It was a good strike. There's no doubt about it. The angle, he did well, Frank Williams. He got past the defender, and he aimed for that far corner. But I just saw the goalkeeper, his positioning was not good enough. And once he got beaten, then he was going into the back of the net.
So the boys from Trinity East, they lead by 2-0. And well, had to do it, come around well, Wills, clear the danger. But he's given back the possession quite cheaply to Frank Williams. The scorer of the second goal is Faustin. Yet to get on the score sheet, Faustin, but he certainly has been a clear and present danger.
The thing is, they can't concede again before half. It's 2-0. They need to go back in. They need to go back in at 2-0. And if they go back in at 2-0, it means the St. Augustine coach can sit down and chat a little bit to his team, tell him where they're going wrong, what they need to do to pick themselves up and go back in the second half. If they go another goal down, I think that's going to be cleanest for them. Before half time, that is.
So 5 minutes remaining in the first half of this contest, one thoroughly dominated by Trinity East. And well taken goals have created the lion's share of chances. A team from Twin City, situated just behind the Twin City Mall, a very popular shopping destination here in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, and just further up, I see there's another huge mall. I know you're a man, you're into fashion and all these things, James, so you would know about all these malls. I see another huge mall going up somewhere up in the back there. I don't know the name of it, but it looks humongous.
Yeah, it's right next to the school, in fact, walking distance.
From the school?
Yeah, wow, what a joy it must be to go to school near a mall.
Yeah, the only thing is when you go to school, you're not supposed to have all that money. But it
Can't have everything in life going your way, does it?
Thing is, James, when you're that young, you need the money and you don't have it, isn't it? Always looking to buy.
You have
something.
the energy, you have everything. Just not the funds. Oh, that's clever. And that's even better, but this time he runs into traffic. Pace of the game has slowed down significantly. The hot conditions might attest to some of that. Figaro. Oh, that's a Moses-like ball, but this time he didn't part the sea. And this one, long, looking for that man Cooper to get involved. Not accurate enough.
They need to get somebody up front with Cooper. If they go in at halftime 2-0, they need to get somebody in with Cooper up front. And even if you're going to play these long balls that Cooper is going to get onto, he's got to be able to knock it off to somebody. So they need to get a second man up front. I heard the coach, I thought he said they were playing with 2 strikers. But so far, we're only seeing Cooper up front. They've got to get another striker up front at the start of that second half.
Well, they have a set piece where they can't dump it in the area. But he dumped it off the field, didn't he? Needed a compass for that one because didn't have his directions in check. Yeah, he's disappointed. Knows he could have done better. And well, the errors continue, this time from Trinity East. And St. Augustine will have another opportunity.
Not a bad crowd coming in so far for this first game when you think it started at 1:30, James. And I think it's going to build for the second game. That Sawan North, Arima North game. That should be an interesting game. But of course, Arima North in the championship, even though they're going to probably try and come up next year. And here goes Foston.
Well, he's on his run. Oh, he's taking his man for drinks. Oh, what a save that is! That is save of the tournament, Colin Murray. I have not seen a better save than that in the COCA-COLA INTERCOL.
Well, I tell you what, the run from Foston, he cut inside beautifully and he cracked it. I didn't expect the shot, so I don't think the keeper did. Here he goes. All of a sudden he stops. Wham! Comes inside and he hits it one time. Look at this. Badang. What a save. What a save. But the move from Foston was superb. I thought he may have touched it again before, but as he came across, he just hit it with that left foot. A beauty.
I'm calling dibs on that. That's a SportsMax app moment.
Already? Okay, James, James, there's 46 minutes left in the game.
There's nothing that's going to be better than what I just saw.
You're a typical goalkeeper. Typical goalkeeper. So how can I argue with that? I can't argue with that. But that was a brilliant save. It really, really was. I tell you what, if you look at Delis with that save, he would be so disappointed when he looks back and see the first 2 goals that he conceded. Even though the first goal from Prince was a difficult one. But look at this. Look at the move from Foss. Wasn't that great? He beat 2 defenders in that one move and he just hit it one time with that left foot.
The thing is, his body was going the opposite way. Yeah. The goalkeeper, Delis, and his arms. Wow. I
honestly don't think he expected the shot.
Oh, this is searching from Daniel, and it's a free header and a good punch from Delis.
Did well.
Well, we are inside the 1 minute of time that was added to the first period. Still 2-0, Trinity East. Is there to be one more exploration forward for Trinity?
I tell you, he's kept them in the game. That's the important thing for St. Augustine. Delis.
Daniel, he's got a ton load of space ahead of him. And tried to pick out Prince, but traffic was too heavy.
Foston was standing all by himself wide and nobody saw him. Amazing.
Well, talk about traffic, he's running into traffic. It's Frank Williams. He's harassed and hassled, but he keeps possession well. Daniel. This time they see Foston, and this time it's the halftime whistle. 2-0, Trinity East.
Yes, so it's 2-0. Trinity East leading at the half. The goals coming in the 27th and 39th minute. The first by Prince, the second coming by Frank Williams. And he easily scored the second goal. A really good move from Jeremiah Frank Williams to make it 2-0. So we're at the half here at the Larry Gomes Stadium. Trinity College East, they lead in this first COCA-COLA East Zone Intercol semi-final, and it's 2-0. St. Augustine lead at the half. So we're going to take a break. Welcome back here to the Larry Gomes Stadium. We're at the half in the first East Zone, the COCA-COLA East Zone semi-final, Intercol semi-final. It's Trinity College East. They're leading St. Augustine Secondary by 2-0. Let's have a look at the highlights. So from the whistle, St. Augustine started pretty well actually. They had the first shot, which was a really good shot that Dalrymple had some trouble. He eventually caught on to it, but and then it was the Forston shoe. Had a shot there from a very difficult angle. It went outside, and then he was able to pick up this ball, go inside of the defender, and then he squared it back, and there was Barnwell the simple task of just pushing the ball into the back of the net, and he hit it over bar. And then there was the, as James Saunders described, the scorpion kick that went outside. But then this was a really good chance for St. Augustine. The ball was sent right into Cooper. He got it on the volley and he hit it over the bar. Then a shot from Prince that went over the bar as well. Faustin was created problems and had a shot, came off the post, went on to the other post, and then Prince following up. There is the shot. It hit both of the posts before Prince was able to put it away. And in the 27th minute, Trinity College East went 1 goal up. But they were not done there, because they kept on going and running at this St. Augustine team. And there goes Frank Williams, goes past the defender and slaps it away from the keeper. He was covering too much, I thought, towards that first post, and he put it into the far corner, and it's 2-0. But here was the move so far of the match. Even though it didn't result in a goal, Faustin cut back nicely, smashed it with his left foot, and what a save there from Andrew Delis. So he just was flying to his left and pushed it over the bar. Let's have a look at the stats. 9 shots to 4 for Trinity College East, 9 St. Augustine 4. 4 shots on target for Trinity College East, 1 for the St. Augustine team, 2 fouls to none. No yellow cards, no red cards, no offsides. 5 corners for Trinity College East, none so far for St. Augustine. Look at that, 20 saves for the St. Augustine keeper, just 1 for the Trinity College East, and the possession 58-42 in favor of St. Augustine. So let's go down to Hans. He's there with James at the half.
Thank you very much, Colin Murray. James Saunders, 2-0 is the score. Trinity College East over St. Augustine Secondary School. Does the scoreline reflect the talent on display here this afternoon?
Yeah, I think it certainly does. Trinity East have been, quite arguably, not arguably, undisputably the most possessing team in that half. Of course, they've been occupying this half. I looked at the statistics, some statistics that some of our viewers may not be aware of, and they've been in this half for 25 of the 45 minutes, which means that they've pretty much dominated the game. You look at the 58% possession, and that tells one story, but also they have been stringing the passes together. 20 saves, more saves to St. Augustine keeper. They've got 9 shots on target, and they've scored 2 of those chances. So I think it's well reflective of what we have seen so far in the game, and the team that deserves to be on top is on top.
Well, let's recap what the coaches said before the game, all courtesy Coca-Cola. Taste the feeling. We spoke to Trinity College East coach, Coach Davis, and this is what he had to say.
Coach Davis, how big is this match for you against St. Augustine?
It's a big occasion for the guys playing in a East Zone semi-final. We have never won the Intercol East Zone, so the guys want to really get there and try and get the job done this year.
Potential first time getting to a final and perhaps winning the East Zone. How are you going to approach this match?
Just as we normally approach any match, we practice based on what we want to execute in the match, based on the opponents. Try to be pragmatic, try to be consistent in what we do. So hopefully we can execute today and be successful again.
What would you say are the keys to this match to win?
Well, goals.
Well, that's simple enough.
Simple as that, goals.
Thanks so much.
From what he said to what actually happened, do you think it's an alignment, James?
Yeah, what he said, somewhat it is an alignment. His team have been, quite confident in terms of possession. They have defended astutely as well, and I think, that he's on target so far, and I expect that we will see some more performance from his team in the second half as well.
Well, St. Augustine Secondary has a new coach this entire season in Tacoma Jones, and this is what he had to say before the game. Once again, this interview brought to you courtesy Coca-Cola.
Trinity East is in front of you, Coach. How are you going to approach this match?
We're going to try to keep it compact, right? Because we know they are coming at us. So we'll try our best defensively to keep it compact. Yeah.
What are the keys to get a victory today?
Keys to get a victory today, we're going to try to play on the counter, right? Try to get it to our main strikers and see what they can do, all right?
Do you see any improvements with your team from what we've seen in the season?
They have. I don't know if some people were looking at the game after the Benedict's game, right? We started to improve after Fatima. My colleagues expressed the same thing, that we have seen improvement. the Speyside game, we were leading 2-1, right? And then defensively, we struggled there, right? So after that, the Valencia game, we actually crossed the hurdle now, yeah?
Well, thank you very much, Coach, and good luck.
Thank you. Okay.
Coach Tacoma Jones, he spoke about the improvements in the team and he also spoke about playing on the counter. Is that strategy working today, James?
Yeah, well, so far I think he's right. This is a team that has improved. I saw them early in the game against Naparima College, early in the season, and it's a different team that I'm seeing today.
Yeah.
I think defensively they've been pretty organized so far. However, what I'd like to see more from St. Augustine is having more outlets going forward, and to get that counter-attacking play, he's got to find solutions at halftime to get more bodies going forward when they do have the rare possession, and that's why I think they could tweak and perhaps might be able to pull themselves back in the game, although I think this Trinity East team perhaps might be a bit too strong for them.
All right, well, we'll find out if St. Augustine Secondary can find some glory in the second half. Score confirmation here at the Larry Gomes Stadium. Trinity College East 2, St. Augustine Secondary, the Green Machine, unable to find the back of the net. We'll be right back with more COCA-COLA INTERCOL semi-final East Zone action.
Well, mission possible or impossible for one of these teams. Trinity East at the moment, it's all possible. We'll lead by 2-0 against St. Augustine Secondary. 45 minutes separates the winners from the team that will move into the final next week. James Saunders is my name. Welcome back to COCA-COLA INTERCOL action here at the Larry Gomes Stadium. I'm joined by Colin Murray, and we've seen a first half dominated by Trinity East. What are the keys to the game for both these teams in the second half?
Well, the thing is, St. Augustine has got to do this. They've got to be a little tighter at the back. Got to watch Faustin. I've been saying that from the minute one. He is the danger man. Prince is a good player coming wide from the left. Riley Hill is also good coming wide from the right. But Faustin is the danger man. He's the man that's going to run at the defense. He's the man that's going to create the chances. He's the man, if you give him the opportunity, he's also going to take the chances. We've seen two shots, one that resulted in a goal and one that brought off that tremendous save from Delis. You know, so he's the danger man. They've got to pay a little bit more attention on him. Even when he picks up the ball, they've got to look to double tackle him. And having said that, they've now got to push forward. He talked about counter-attacking, but when you counter-attack, you got to have numbers going forward. You can't counter-attack with one person. So he's got to get somebody up front as well with Cooper. Once he does that, who knows? If they can get an early goal in the second half, they could probably put the Trinity East defense under some pressure. And you know, once the score gets to 2-1, anything after that is possible.
So the team's all lined up and ready. Of course, Coca-Cola, the official sponsor of the Intercol. And what a tournament, a prestigious tournament of the years here in Trinidad and Tobago. Premier knockout competition of the Secondary Schools Football League.
I think St. Augustine have made a substitution. It seems number 2 has come on. Jabrili Williams. He's come on at a right back position. And I'm not sure who he's come on for, but we'll have to give you that in a while.
Well, he gets his first touch. Yeah. And, well, hasn't touched it yet. Still have to wait for him to get his first touch as that one went out, and it would be a throw for St. Augustine. But he can consider a throw first touch maybe for Williams. Oh, there we go. Technically his first touch.
Oh, right. I'm trying to look to see who he's come on for. I don't know if it's a straight.
Might be Wills in the defense.
Swap.
Yeah, centre back Wills has been shifted.
Yeah, it could be. I'm looking for Wills.
Trinity East skipper will give his goalkeeper a touch. It's something he hasn't had much of the first half. Just one save he made earlier on. Well, it's won by St. Augustine. He made a very good point about counter-attacking, and already they're getting more numbers forward. And well, did have a right to try, but the outcome not as anticipated.
No, that's Asalam, wasn't it? That took that shot. And was it O'Brien? Yeah, okay. But that was there's confirmation of the substitution. Williams on for Wills.
Oh, that's acrobatic if anything. And already see a more positive outlook from St. Augustine Secondary, although they do give away possession. Haven't had much passing sequences going for them. Although they did manage to string together 7 passes in the first half. By contrast, Trinity East, their best possession spell, 10 passes.
Yeah.
So it will be a corner, or throw rather, for St. Augustine Secondary, deep in their half. Now can't get it past this Trinity East shirt, and trouble could open up here. He's fought well to win this one. Prince has some assistance from Riley Hill, just swings it across the area, and the goalkeeper is quite grateful to see that one roll out harmlessly.
Well, it's a corner. So
is it?
Yeah, it took a deflection, and obviously Delis didn't realize that because he was very casual, never tried to hustle to get the ball. But it's going to be a corner for Trinity East, a left-sided corner. So I'm a little surprised because it did seem when Hill took the shot, it did seem to me that there was some kind of deflection. But I thought the younger eyes of the Leafs would have been better served. But obviously it wasn't. James?
Daniel at the back door. Is anybody home? Well, there was. Just couldn't find the target. And it will be a goal kick this time, although might have had his instep stepped on. Goal scorer, of course. And, well, take his time here. It seems to be a collision as well, because Griff Sandy is also down as well. So both medical staff will have to attend to the players on the field at the moment. Didn't exactly see what caused the collision. I'm sure we'll have a better look in a minute. Well, this is what's happened. And he just got up there and, well, that absolutely clears it, but it might have been, stepped on him when he went down.
Yeah.
Not sure what the issue with Griff Sandy is, though.
There's Gravesand. He's limped off, so he's going to get some treatment.
Well, players restarted, and St. Augustine, in a positive fashion, tried to get it forward. And it's well defended. It will be a throw. Well, absolutely more positive than what we saw in the first half so far from St. Augustine.
Well, it seems that O'Brien is pushing up now. He's abandoned that defensive, the midfield role, and is more pushing up to support Cooper, and he's got to do that. But here comes Trinity East.
Well, space has opened up nicely here for Frank Williams, and he has a goal that isn't too far from the top corner. Well, it took a few breaths away here at the Larry Gomes Stadium.
It's not a bad effort from Frank Williams. He got it under control. That's another good move from Trinity East. They go up that right side and a pinpoint pass inside from Riley Hill, and there's the control. He looks up, has the time and the room and to hit it, and unfortunately just didn't hit it on target.
It's good to see he's back on his feet, though. It's down for quite a while earlier. Well, when you're at this age, seem to bounce back and recover really quickly. Something that you don't have forever.
No, it doesn't.
As you get older.
That's true. Very true.
Well, here's young Foston. I reckon he might fancy his chance from this distance. It's a long way out.
Is he really going to go goal from here?
Well, not sure if he attempted a shot or a pass, but he's given St. Augustine a chance here, and it could be away, but Boston illegally intercepts. That he had to do that, didn't he?
Yeah, Cooper did well. Cooper, the thing with Cooper is if you give him a little bit of room, James, you give him a little bit of yard, he's got some pace, and once that ball goes in front of him, he's going to run it down, and he's a good player. Cooper, he just needs some support.
Trinity East. Well, they've struggled for some sort of momentum since they restarted.
There is Marvin Foston, the former strike squad, and of course the father of Jaheim Foston, and actually 2 seats away from him there is that ball going over the bar. 2 seats away from him is Wayne Shepherd, and Wayne Shepherd of Fatima, coach of pass. He's played for Fatima.
He's also the vice president of the Coaches Association to the right of the screen.
Yeah.
And what if you span a little to the right some more? You would see the Fatima coach, assistant coach, Stephen Williams is also there.
Yep, they're
scouting.
Yep. Well, the thing is, the winners of the North Zone, and I don't know if Steve Williams counted his chickens before the hatch, but the winner of the North Zone, I think, meets the winner of the East Zone. So it's interesting that he's come to have a look at these two teams.
Yeah, always scouting, aren't they?
Well, you got to know what your opposition it looks like and the strengths and weaknesses of the opposition. Because I've always said, James, no matter how good a team you are, you got to also know the weaknesses of the opposition and the strengths of the opposition, because they can hurt you.
Well, Bandwell would look to swing one in. They've lacked a bit of fluency that we saw in the first half. Trinity East in the second. It's Cruel. Well, they've lost it to St. Augustine, but Cruel does well to win it back.
It's a bit of a stop-start so far this second half. Some of the passes going astray. This guy on the ball now, Riley Hill, he's a good passer of the ball. So as soon as I say that, he give it away. But he tends to be a good passer of the ball, tends to come in wide from that right-hand side. So he's a bit of a danger.
Well, they did get in excess of 190 touches in the first period. Trinity East.
That's a nice ball from Boston.
Good defending.
That's Brito, isn't it? Yeah, looks like Brito. He's had a good game. He's had it tough because a lot of the times he was in a one-on-one situation with Forston, and Forston is very speedy. But Brito has done well, I think. He's really defended well.
So it's a corner. Will be taken short. Has numbers in the area. Can he find one of them? Coming in at the back door. Well, collision with the goalkeeper. And, well, nobody got it. Frank Williams seems to be the one that was the intended target. And again, goes down in a spot of bother. Tit seemed to go in hard with the goalkeeper, did he?
Was a lovely ball, actually, from Forston. And look at it was a short corner, the kind of room Forston had. And then look at that lovely ball to the far post, the chip ball.
Riley Hill, in fact.
Riley Hill was the man coming in at the back, the tall figure of Riley Hill, and he would be disappointed that he didn't get his head onto that.
Oh, that man did well, though he paid the price, the goalkeeper. Riley Hill is back on his feet.
Yeah, that's good news.
Well, don't forget, coming up after this, Arima North. They will be coming up against
Samoa North. That should be a cracker.
the North teams from the East.
Yeah, the thing with Samoa North, I would expect Arima North. They haven't played against Samoa North, and they would to me they would have done their homework. The two big targets, Noel and Swede, they must be stopped. If Arima North has to win this game, they've got to stop Noel and they've got to stop Swede.
I'm quite excited to see Noel. I've heard a lot about him. I haven't done any games since when he's played, but calling him the schoolboy Haaland.
Yeah, he scores. He reminds me of can I go back to the old days, James? Luciano Woodley. Luciano Woodley in the 70s, 60s, 70s played for St. Mary's College. And Luciano Woodley would had no coverage at that time, and Luciano Woodley, St. Mary's would win 3-0, Woodley would score all three and would have touched the ball 5 times. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. He just was always in the right position to put the ball in the back of the net, and Larry Noel is very much like that.
Wrong to score, you call them. That's a good challenge. Gives away a corner. Barnwell will hustle to take. He's taken one corner so far, and well, you might want to remember that. He has a chance to amend things though this time around. Barnwell is deep, looking for Riley Hill, and well, it's still alive with the yellow shirt, and Prince has a wild swing, balloons into the air, and well, Austin went for the acrobatic, and well, made a circus of it. Why not do?
That was Prince. Now Prince is a better player than that, and then I thought he went for the shot, and then it happened to go to Forston, and he went for the very dramatic, but that's the kind of player he is. He's going to try everything, that's that's what stands out, James, between the average player and the above average player. They do the unexpected. And it was like a shot. I never expected in the first half when he got in, he twisted, got in front of the two defenders, and all of a sudden he unleashed that left-footed, how should I call it, the bazooka. And the release was absolutely brilliant.
Our changes are being lined up for St. Augustine's secondary. And there's a new man coming in, Marcel Valentine will make his first introduction, Marcel Valentine, and he has replaced Alex Piper. So Valentine will tuck into midfield. Piper makes his way off. Straight swap in midfield. Well, earlier, this was Austin.
He just stops, and you would have think, well, he might have ran with the ball further. He just unleashed, didn't he?
And look at that.
That was a brilliant save.
Yeah, that's beauty. I did speak to Trevor Nottingham, the goalkeeper coach, at half-time, and that's all he described it as. Beautiful. Beautiful. As my Spanish friends would say, buenísimo. So good.
Okio.
What does that mean?
Okay.
I learned something today, 3 years old when I found that out. So it's a throw, quite a bit of hesitation as is a player that is being escorted off the field at the moment, hence the slight delay that you're seeing.
It's, let's see, don't think it's, it looks like,
Andrews.
Is it Prophet? No, is it,
Andrews might be the player.
Yeah, it looks like Andrews, the skipper.
Figaro. Austin, who's chopped deeper, couldn't pick out Frank Williams. And they scramble it away, but not far enough. Riley Hill, though, he runs into traffic, and St. Augustine try to get forward now, and just needed to be ahead of that man. And the pass just wasn't good enough. Gifted possession back to Trinity. Oh, the game has lost some rhythm, hasn't it, in the last few minutes?
For sure.
What do you think was said at half-time, though, in the St. Augustine dressing room?
Well, he would have talked in terms of their counter-attacking. There were 2 goals down, and he would have had to say to them, look, guys, we've got to be a little bit more adventurous. We are 2 goals down, we've got to push out a little bit more, we've got to put the defenders under some pressure. And I would have thought the most important thing was to say, look, we've got to give Cooper some support up front. That's the only way. You've got to score goals to get back in the game. So it's no point you lose 2-0. If you lose 5-0, 6-0, it doesn't matter if you try to get goals.
Oh, another man goes down, another player. And just going down like flies at the moment. Might have gotten a rope touch. So painful. Just crossed the hour mark, by the way. As we welcome our viewers all across the Caribbean and North America, joining us on the SportsMax app. Ouch. Those are painful. Figaro being the guilty man, stepping on the ankle. Also say hello to all of those who are looking at us on YouTube via the SportsMax channel. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe. And of course, share the link. So in the crunch time of the secondary schools Intercol, COCA-COLA Intercol, many contenders have exited the competition, and the best of the best will compete to get into the finals. We had the Central Zone final decided last evening.
Tomorrow, two big games again. South Zone semi-finals, the COCA-COLA INTERCOL South Zone semi-finals. The three big ones: St. Benedict's, Presentation, and Naparima involved, and with Moruga.
Well, I was just going to say you left out one
Well,
team.
yeah, I left them particularly for to say last because they finished bottom of the table. They're going back down to the championship, and yet they're in the semi-finals of the INTERCOL. Now this will be their big moment, but they're coming up against St. Benedict's. It's going to be a tough afternoon for them.
Yeah, they're one of the stars of St. Benedict's College. He's from the Moruga area as well. So I'm sure the fans are going to be torn somewhere in between. So this is a penultimate area to be decided for the finals, that is. So, as Colin mentioned, just the South Zone outstanding. Well, St. Augustine, clock ticking down and their chances of progressing. Unless they can get something, maybe from this, close to the goalkeeper. He should get there first, and he does. Good hands. But a break could be on though. Figaro. Prince. Lots of space to exploit ahead of him. Chooses to go for Fostin. What a take that is from Fostin. And that flag didn't go up. The referee might have spotted a handball. It's unfortunate though to take it so nicely on the run. Trinity East several years ago. This would have been a shock result.
That's right. And St. Augustine several years ago, St. Augustine would have started as favourites.
Riley Hill looking for Prince. Oh, he finds him well in the crowd. Gets it out to Frank Williams. Back to Prince. While they're tossing and they're scrambling to get it far away from goal. Fostin gets it back under control. Daniel. That's a wayward pass from Daniel. St. Augustine now trying to find that isolated man Cooper. And again, no success. To anticipate that we might have some more changes coming up. Trinity East have already sent players to start warming up. It's Figaro. Can he make a difference? Taking the skipper for a run. Might go all the way through to Frank Williams. A sliding challenge keeps it alive. Still with Fostin.
That's a good ball.
Well, they're finding more and more space here as the game becomes stretched, and Riley Hill loses it quite easily. Well, said that he bullied his way back to win it. Kroll. And well, tried to find Barnwell, but he miscued his efforts. And St. Augustine here again. Cooper this time gets a touch, and it should be escorted safely back into the hands of the goalkeeper.
A little bit of a misunderstanding between him and Whiteman because he was waiting. Whiteman was waiting for Dalrymple to come forward, and he just realizing that Dalrymple wasn't coming, he had to do the safe thing and he hooked it away. But a little bit again, that is the type of communication you need between the keeper and the defender, because it's always difficult with the defender coming to the goalkeeper, man on his back. He's not too sure if the goalkeeper is going to get there, so communication is the key. And you would know that, James, of course, as a goalkeeper. I mean, whether good or not, I'm not discussing that. I'm just talking about the communication aspect, that you've got to make it, and you've got to be decisive. You've got to tell your defender early, clear it, danger or whatever. You can't wait till the last moment.
Oh yeah, that's something that Mike, former coach Michael Maurice, would drill into us. Myself, Marvin Phillip, a part of the Star Wars Strikers squad. Speaking of Marvin Phillip, though, his son.
Yeah, I was about to say that. His son came on as substitute.
Marcelo Phillip.
Yeah.
He's also a goalkeeper.
Yeah. 13 is he? Is he 13 years old?
13 years old, yeah. Came on for COCA-COLA East last evening.
That was real good to see that. I didn't realize at the time it was Marvin Phillip's son.
Yeah, like father, like son. He has half a decent career as his father. He would have done well for himself.
Yeah, make that.
So we have what? Another 23 minutes left in this game, and still 2-0. And you just have to think that St. Augustine, they need to get a goal from somewhere. And the only way you can get it is by throwing caution to the wind and going after them. That's what they got to do. You've got to throw caution to the wind now, James. At some point in time, St. Augustine, they've got to say, the coach has got to say, well, enough is enough. And let's attack Trinity East now. And even if you give away another goal or two at that point in time, James, it really does not matter. Here's a chance.
Well, they can get a chance here, and the flag did go up. And unlucky, although he didn't have the best touch on it. But it's something positive at least for St. Augustine, and you made that point, Colin, and you indeed feel like you need to see more of that, more adventure from St. Augustine.
Well, it's starting to rain again here at Larry Gomes. We've had mixed weather. It's been very sunny, and then we've had a drizzle. But looking over to the east, looks up like we're going to get a pretty heavy shower coming our way, James?
Yeah, it's a rainbow about as well. Promise. And, well, the weather's been very schizophrenic. And that's being very mild, from hot sun to rain to sun rain to I don't know what this is. Maybe Faustin can tell us. Oh, look at that! Phenomenal! Well, he had the awareness of a superhero, Jaime Faustin. He came out of nowhere from a searching ball and from a tight angle. Well, he put that into the back of the net, and Daddy somewhere in the stands is smiling. Oh, yes, he is.
Must be smiling, because it really, and that's the beauty about this young man. You never know what to expect of him, and that's that's when you talk about a good forward. He came out of nowhere, and he's made it 3-0, and he's put the game to bed now. Look at that. The ball comes across, and all of a sudden, he was able to take that ball and put it right back into the far corner. Watch that. What a good touch. What an excellent touch from this young man.
Well, I certainly love the awareness, because it seemed like a ball into nobody, really.
Yep.
He was attacking the
run.
space. And that's something that a lot of coaches always talk about, attacking the space, and he did that really well.
Was that Riley Hill with the cross again? I think, because I've been admiring Riley Hill and his cross balls, but this was one deep onto the far post, and there was Faustin coming from nowhere. But his control, James, there's Daddy Faustin.
Happy Daddy.
He wants to smile, but he's...
Well, there was big grins on his face just a while earlier.
Yeah, but what was great about it was his control. He was able to get across with that left foot, basically, and guide the ball back across the goal into the far corner. That was an absolutely superb goal.
Well,
in the 69th minute.
They're going to argue about the SportsMax that moment now. We've got brilliant moments. Austin, and of course the goalkeeper as well.
Well, I think that's it now for St. Augustine. Can't see them getting back 3 goals. And you know, when it was 2-0, if they were able to get one, make it 2-1, it's always an uncomfortable position when you're just 1 goal ahead. But now they're 3 goals ahead and only 20 minutes left. I think that's game, set and match.
Well, St. Augustine in a huge deficit at the moment. Trinity East, oh, they're smiling at the moment. Of course, they're the brother school of Bishop Anstey East. 2 colleges on the same compound, pretty much. Trinity East, Bishop Anstey East, of course, a girls' equivalent of Trinity East, which is a boys' school. Is there something for St. Augustine in this game? Trinity East certainly going to make it difficult to get anything. They've been quite stingy at the back, not giving up any real chances. Frank Williams will have to burst his lungs trying to get that one, and well, the defender does all the heavy lifting. did see one of the former St. Augustine standouts just a couple of days ago, the youth football tournament. And if you remember the likes of Shane Calderon, former national youth player.
Yeah, that's right. I remember him at St. Augustine, wasn't he? Yeah.
Well, one little known fact about him is his sister has gone on to be a bit more famous than he is. You might know as Nessa Preppy. I'm not quite sure if she went to St. Augustine as well. In fact, she went to the school that's coming up next, Arima.
Oh, she went to Arima Sec, okay.
Dexter, keep it simple.
Oh, the clock winding down, and Trinity East 1 foot in the COCA-COLA INTERCOL Final 2022. Of course, this is the first secondary school competition that we are having post-pandemic. The pandemic certainly has served as a great reset for many of the powerhouses in secondary school football.
Hey, kick. Come on, Nick, come on.
Well, they've gone quite silent, the bench of St. Augustine. Well, it keeps it alive for the green machine. And he does well to shield it. And referee judges that he's been fouled. It's a chance for Trinity East to defend. Well, they're putting more bodies forward now. Perhaps Sandy gets into an advanced position and a good chance here to perhaps put something over. Needed more quality, you feel. Still not gone, but well, the chance is finally evaporated. Well, it's all about game management now, you feel, for Trinity East. Been well in control of this fixture. No, somebody needs treatment. And it is Barnswell. It's been a tough game, not particularly physically, but in terms of the pace it has been at, particularly in the hot conditions. It's been mainly hot, although we've had some drizzle. Well, there we go, the Dial Dynamos, Arima North Secondary. They've won the E-Zone quite a couple of times. I think the E-Zone, perhaps like the South Zone, has been the most competitive in terms of the number of winners that we've had.
Yeah, I think so. I think the East Zone has been pretty competitive, even though San Juan North stand out. But on a given day, this Trinity East side can really cause an upset.
Well, headed away.
And then, of course, the South Zone, you've got the three big teams.
But in general, in terms of winners, like zone winners and in terms of Intercol winners, you think Arima North, they've been winners on a couple of occasions. El Dorado have been winners on a couple of occasions.
East,
San Juan have been winners a couple of occasions.
And the Blue Thunder.
And then St. Augustine. That's already 4. You think of the South Zone, you think of Princess Town with a couple of titles, Naparima with a couple of titles, Presentation College, a couple of titles, and of course St. Benedict's College. All national winners and have been zone winners from one time or the other. At least in the last 2 decades. Well, the keeper's there first. Williams.
Oh, what a lovely ball! What a lovely ball! He just gently just chipped it nicely over the head of the man, the wing back for Riley Hill to run onto. Really a nice looking ball.
Ticking down. It's 12 and a half before the end of the 90. Trinity East quite comfortable at the moment. Oh, that's a good touch. That's the hustle. And he's lost it to Prince, who gives away a throw.
He's had a good game. Prince and Riley Hill on the right side. I like both of them. They're giving Trinity East the width they need, and they should be playing good football at the moment.
This one is sent to Chase, and
now you see O'Brien is gone into a striking position, but really and truly he hasn't been they haven't fed him with all that good balls for him to really counter the St. Augustine defense.
Well, the game really stretched at the moment. Space on either side for both teams to exploit. That's a good touch on Faustin. He's already scored one good goal, but not this time because the defender has put up a stop sign.
But what a touch! You're quite right. It was an excellent touch. He took it in his stride, and the defender, he defended well. Trying to be a little too cute there.
Well, he's done well to win it back for cinching his defensive attributes as well. And well,
the idea was good. All of a sudden he tried to get Hill in by playing that. The easier pass was playing in square, but that's what he does. He does some unexpected things, and that's what makes him a really good player.
Well, he was looking for the give and go there.
Yeah,
Prince
he was
not on the same page, and Prince tries to go alone. The goalkeeper will gobble up easily in the end.
He was looking for the 1-2. It would have been interesting had Prince played it back to him, because he might have very well been through the heart of the defense.
Oh, that's a big stop sign he ran into there. No room to push forward with Sandy.
That's a bad ball.
So we're approaching the final 10 minutes of this match. COCA-COLA INTERCOL semi-final 1 of the East Zone. Will there be more goals? St. Augustine would certainly hope they can get at least a consolation. Frank Williams has been quite industrious. It's cruel. But he's done well to create some half a yard for himself, and this time Faustin's touch, it's not very good, but Kroll shows him how it's done. Back with Faustin. Frank Williams thought for a moment of sending it on a volley. Prince, oh, he's lost his man well and couldn't find Faustin in the end.
Just behind him, wasn't it? Had that been in front of him, it would have been an easy tap in for Faustin.
Kroll has been pushing into more advanced areas now, this central midfielder, and well, thinks that he might have been infringed. The referee assistant doesn't think so. It's a goal kick.
So in the final 10 minutes of this game, and still 3-0. So the SportsMax app moment. James, what do you think it is?
I'm biased.
Let's have a look at the SportsMax
I'm thinking
app
the goalkeeper,
moment.
but it's debatable.
You goalkeepers, this sort of.
There we go. I knew I was going to be beat out, just like Faustin beat out everybody to get at the back end of that one.
It was an excellent goal. What was great about it was the touch. He angled it beautifully into the far corner. Everything about that was good.
So good. Buenissimo. And it's our SportsMax app moment.
17, who's coming up here? 17, go on 17.
I'm sure Mama will be proud and expect a warm round of applause as Faustin will say sayonara to everybody. It's the end of his afternoon. Will be rested for the final. Kelson Pay will come on to replace him. Well, he's got big shoes to fill, doesn't he, Colin Murray, Kelson Pierre?
Does.
And what a performance from this man, Naheem Fostin.
Yeah, but it's done and dusted. The game is over. Basically 8 minutes to go. I agree. Give him a rest. Let him sit down. Let him have a look at his players and just relax for the final.
Well, Kelson Pierre, quite a tall figure. And, another substitute, Jonathan Emmerich, will replace Frank Williams, another of the top players in this Trinity East performance. They're choosing to rest players ahead of the finals, it seems. They know that they've got the job completed.
Yeah, the job is done. There's no doubt about it. The job is done, and it's just a matter now of Trinity College East just waiting and waiting out managing the last 7.5 minutes, the last 7 minutes of the game. Don't do anything silly to let St. Augustine back into the game.
Pop to the substitute and he gets his first touch, Pierre. And he's muscled out of it. Well, the other substitute gets a touch. And again, his touch letting him down, Emmerich.
That was interesting there. I was saying that was an interesting move from Brito. He's had a good game. There's confirmation of the substitutes, Pierre coming in for Fostin, and a like for like swap, and then Emmerich coming in for Frank Williams. Obviously, he's worked so hard, Frank Williams, during the course of today, and I think it's a well-deserved rest he's going to get. There's only one.
Well, you said only one, and I'm sure I can read your mind, Colin Murray. You're thinking about the man of the match.
Yeah, there's only one man of the match, and that's Fostin. He created the first goal, he scored the third goal, and really and truly, all afternoon, he's been a thorn in the St. Augustine defense. He laid on one for Barnwell that Barnwell should have scored.
And one that hit both uprights before Prince scored it as well.
Yep, that's right. And it's just his movement. What about the shot he took that Delis pushed over the bar that you wanted as your SportsMax app moment?
Keep that there. See that? Up there. Not down there.
Yeah, Fostin, what a top talent. We've spoken about good goal scorers. We will see one in the next game, Larry Noel.
Yep, that's right.
We've talked about what we've seen from St. Benedict's College as well, Lee.
Tarek Lee.
But you've got to add Fostin to the conversation.
The thing about it, well, he hasn't scored the amount of goals as Lee or Noel.
But in terms of quality, what we've seen.
Excellent. But the thing is, I remember the game, which game was it? When he scored a hat-trick, and I think it was the final against Fatima. Yeah, it was. And they had a penalty. He had already had a hat-trick. They had a penalty, and they gave it to somebody else to kick. And I couldn't understand why. I really could not understand why, James. And I queried it. And I found out after the game that the reason they gave the guy to kick the penalty was because he hasn't scored for the season. No, this is a guy who is on a beaver trick. He's on a beaver trick, not even a hat trick or a brace. And you don't allow him to kick the penalty. I tell you, if I was Tarek Lee, I would have walked straight down the tunnel, go straight home, and come back the next day to celebrate.
Wow, that's wayward. As wayward as they come.
As wayward as my thought, right?
Yep, yeah, you're spot on with that analogy. Yeah, he's unselfish, isn't he, Tariq Lee?
Yeah, no. I mean, at the end of the day, it's team. You know what I mean? But I just, I wonder if the score was 3-2, if they would have done that.
Certainly not.
Yeah.
Well, more more shuffling of the deck of cards. And it's St. Augustine's turn.
Hospitalis is off.
And in comes Jeremiah Jagroup. Isaiah Nicholas is also going to make his way on. As the skipper, Tyrese Andrews, goes off as well. Confirmation of all that was just said. So the skipper take a rest. Tyrese Andrews and Jack Group and Andrews.
This is Emrith. He started a couple games for Trinity East, but as you look at this Trinity East team, and I think they're quite happy and they've settled for the 3-0 victory.
He said Emirates, and well, instantly my mind wandered. He's related to the most famous Emirate that we know of, Riyad Emirate, of course, the TNT cricketer.
Yeah, okay, I didn't quite realize that.
No, I was asking.
No, I don't know. I'm really not sure.
It's not the most common surname that you hear.
Yeah, that's right. So
Riyad is also from the east as well.
Yeah, there must be some type of relation. So the COCA-COLA INTERCOL series has turned out to be quite good, James, so far. I mean, yes, we've had some mismatch when the Premiership teams comes up against the Championship. But, there's always some excitement and there's always something about the COCA-COLA INTERCOL series that gets the fans going.
Yes, the fact that it's uncertain and you can't make errors, you make errors, and well, that's the end of your season.
Yeah.
The reason that the game has been interrupted is because there's another player down at the moment. It is the captain of the Trinity East team that is receiving some attention, Angie Providence, and he's finally walking it off. Will walk off the field though. Seems that they're not taking chances with any head injuries.
No, that's right. That's right. You can't. Not in today's world.
Long time he drank water and they said run it off.
Well, we hear that we're just winding down now, James, and I understand there's 3 minutes of added on time.
It certainly is. Well, just on a side note, well, quite literally a side note, the ball boys for today's match are from the Arima Government Primary School. They are recent champions of the primary school competition just last week.
Under 12, they beat Dinsley Trinity Government. Congrats to them.
Well, quite ironically, Trinity is where Trinity East is from.
Well, you can't win it all, James. Come on.
Prince. Oh, he's carved open some space for himself, hasn't he? And, well...
Played it behind Pear.
Yeah.
That's not Pear. Pear wanted it. Did well to keep it in. And I think he's won himself a corner. No. I thought it was a corner. Yeah. Well, the referee missed the boat there, but he's just human.
Well, Pear's disappointed.
He must be, because he cleared the ball off of the defender to get the corner.
Well, we are inside the 3 minutes that have been added on to this match. We've crossed the 90. Immediately following this match, the Dial Dynamos, Arima North Secondary, they will come up against San Juan North Secondary. Well, minutes counting down. Kadeem Karabi. 30 of the extension of time that we got remaining. It's just about seeing the game out. It's really lost its steam this match.
Yeah, it's really. I thought the second half would have been a little bit more. How should I put it? Blood and sand type of thing. But it's really it was a tame second half, and really and truly, it's been a walk in the park for Trinity East. They've never really been pressed by St. Augustine.
Inside the final minute of the time that's added, St. Augustine Secondary have a free kick. And boy, would they hope they could get something from this, some sort of consolation.
Yeah, it would be nice to get for them to get a goal, wouldn't it?
Well, have they? It was deflected off the defender and the post and the goalkeeper.
Was that Barnwell? Barnwell on the post, was it?
Yes, it was Barnwell. Oh, that's cruel.
Well, James, just leave the lotto numbers here for me, please. Because you're calling for a goal for St. Augustine and they nearly got it.
Cruel lack of faith.
Importantly, though, that they got the defender on the last post, because many times we see defenders that the last post is open, but here with the corner, look at Barnwell. He's on that last post defending, and he defended it well.
I'll give credit to the goalkeeper as well.
Yeah, had it not been there, it would have been a goal. But here's the end of the game.
Yeah. 3 blast of the whistle signals the end of 90 minutes, and Trinity East Secondary will march on into the COCA-COLA East Zone final, and they will await the winners of the next semi-final that comes up. Disappointing outing for St. Augustine Secondary, but for Trinity East, joy and jubilation. Your thoughts, Colin?
Yeah, certainly an easy game here for Trinity East. They were never really stretched by the St. Augustine team. When you look at it and you think back, they were playing just with one striker, and with the one striker, they struggled in the first half. You thought that maybe in the second half they would have gone a little bit more attacking. They did push O'Brien closer up, but still at the end of the day, it was just not enough. So that's the final score here. It's full time. The first semi-final in the East Zone COCA-COLA INTERCOL has been completed, and it's a comfortable victory for Trinity College East by 3-0. Let's have a look at the highlights. Well, St. Augustine started pretty well. In fact, they had the first shot. It was a cracker, and Dalrymple struggled to hold on to it. And then we saw Faustin with a chance here. Bad angle. It was a very acute angle. He still went for goal, but he couldn't get it over. And then a magical moment from him again. Blowing past the defender. Looked up. Squared it back to Barnwell. Barnwell should have put it into the back of the net. He hit it over the bar. Then the corner came. And there was Prince with a little bit of acrobatics, but couldn't get it on target. This was a really good chance now for St. Augustine. The ball chipped into Cooper. He had the easy task of putting it into the net and didn't. And then Prince with a shot going high over the bar. But here goes Faustin cutting inside, having a beauty of a shot. Hit one post, went on to the second post, and then Prince ran onto it and hit it into the back. But that was a shot from Faustin. It hit one post, ricocheted off the next one, and Prince put it into the back of the net in the 27th minute to make it Trinity College East 1, St. Augustine 0. And here goes Trinity College East. This is Frank Williams going past the defender, and then Frank Williams put it down into the far corner, and the keeper wouldn't get across in time, and in the 39th minute Frank Williams made it 2-0. But Faustin wasn't finished. He came inside, had a super shot, and then it was just pushed over the bar. That was a super save from the goalkeeper. Second half started much the same. Trinity College East was on the front foot. The shot coming from Frank Williams going just wide, and the pressure continued with Trinity College East. Faustin chips that ball nicely to the far post. Hill came in, couldn't get the header, and it went outside for a goal kick. And then this was Prince with this acrobatic attempt from Faustin as the ball was played airborne by Prince. And St. Augustine coming back into it, having a shot, but really Dalrymple was in trouble. Then Hill with a cross, and Fostin coming in at the far post. What a good goal. He was able to just get it under control nicely, and he put it into the far net, and there is Fostin making it 3-0, and that was all she wrote for this game. Comfortable winners, Trinity College East by 3-0. Let's have a look at the stats now. 13 shots to 9, 6 shots on target for Trinity College East, 5 for St. Augustine Secondary, 4 fouls to 1. There were no yellow cards in the game, no red cards, no offsides. 8 corners for Trinity College East, none for St. Augustine. There were 5 saves by the Trinity College East keeper, just 3 saves coming by the St. Augustine secondary keeper, and the possession 57% Trinity College East to 43% for St. Augustine. Let's go down to Hans. He's got the man of the match with him.
Thank you very much, Colin Murray, here with the man of the match, Jaheim Fostin. Congratulations to you. Also presenting to you, we have SSFL President Marie Gonzalez and of course Maritza Balak from COCA-COLA, the Senior Marketing Manager, to present you with some Coca-Cola for you to taste the feeling today. You can definitely taste the feeling of victory. 5 shots from you, 3 shots on target. Tell us, areas for improvement, what can we look forward to in the next match?
Yeah, we could look for better areas in the shooting, try to get it more on target, try to build more team spirit, coming from the game from before, We had a little bit of disadvantages, some players wasn't really feeling it, so, we tried to motivate the team as much as possible so we could come into the next game.
Well, your goal was our SportsMax app of the moment. Who do you dedicate that goal to? And of course, your man of the match trophy.
I want to dedicate it to my mom and my dad, and my niece, her birthday is coming up, so she really wanted me to score one for today.
Oh, wow! And your father's actually in the stands as well. Trust me, where's your father in the stands? All right, yes, man. And there you are. There's Daddy taking it all in and discussing with other coaches all of the good moments of today. Congratulations again, Jaheim Fostin. All the best. We look forward to seeing you in our next match. Right now we throw to James Saunders, who's with our coaches.
Well, thanks so much, Hans. I'm with the losing coach of St. Augustine Secondary, and it's a tough match for you today because your team was on the losing end. What lessons do you think you learned?
First of all, I would just like to give kudos to Trinity East. They're a well-organized team, and we try as much to contain the Fostin, right, Mr. Fostin, but we were unsuccessful today, right? But today, too many blunders, right, led us to the mistakes that we had today.
Well, thanks so much, Coach, and good luck next season.
Thank you very much.
All right, so I'm going to invite the winning coach, Mr. Davis, to join me. And 3-0, and you are into the finals today. Describe what you're feeling.
We're happy for the victory. Not too happy with the performance, but we're happy for the victory today.
What do you think worked well for your team?
Our defensive structure was good. We kept them off the score sheet. Apart from that, we took some of the chances. Could have been better, more clinical, but things to work on in training ground.
Looking ahead to the finals, firstly, who would you like to get to the finals in San Juan and Arima, and what can we expect from your team in that final?
It doesn't matter who we get, yes. We just have to put in the performance. We have to work against them. If it's on anything, maybe I would like to play Arima, because Coach Sheppy is with Arima, so let's go with Arima for that.
Well, thank you so much and good luck, my friend.
All right, man, thanks.
All right, well, Hans Beans, he's standing by with the coaches of Arima Secondary and San Juan North.
Well, thank you very much, James. First up, coach of San Juan North Secondary School, Jerry Moore. Is the team in full form? Any injuries, anything we should be aware of today?
No, we're 100% today.
Tell us about your strategy in this matchup.
Well, the philosophy is based on the score in the game. I mean, a lot of people think tactics is something special, but the game plan is based on the score. If we score first, then we know how we operate. If we don't, we know what we have to do. So the score does determine the game plan.
How important is winning this upcoming game and, of course, going on to win the East Zone and possibly the Intercol title for you?
Well, the game is a semi-final. The key word is final,